Hello, and welcome to Otaku Flavored Podcast with your hosts, Savage Bear and Jay Lewis, where we bring you everything otaku.
Where we talk about NFTs, virtual reality, and other mind-bending and altering subjects.
So join us.
Join us in the Otaku Flavored. I got nothing today. No.
Oh yeah, we've got straight nothing. Like we can piss people off and talk about NFTs or something like that.
Oh man,
That's the hot-blooded issue that people love to get pissed off about.
I know so little about NFTs, but I know like just enough to make them not sound as appealing as they truly are, I feel, or as people like them to think.
I don't know who honestly thinks that they're real or legitimate other than people who A, got scammed and are afraid to admit it, or B, are scamming others and trying to get more people into it.
Yeah,
It is a hot fire scam.
I definitely think it's one of the weirdest things I've heard, basically, because it's like, hey, look, it's a way to digitally show that your goods are like forever, like you got a certain one. Like that's how I've heard it explained, basically.
Doesn't give you the rights to print it. Doesn't give you the rights to any printed copy. Like it's just here's this digital sticker.
Yeah, it's like buying a piece of digital artwork that is numbered, basically. And there's no real like that's cool. I mean, digital artwork, you can make an unlimited amount of them, so it's not like you can.
And even your little special number thing, if I can make copies of that. Like,
let me do a limited run of this thing that's digital. That I mean. It must be easier to steal too, like digital stuff. Like I don't understand how you would. Sure, maybe I can't go to someone and be like, "Hey, look at this digital print or this digital artwork I got that is numbered." Like I don't have the number for it because I just took it off the internet. But
yeah, what are you gonna do with it? Put it as your screensaver or something? Like
sell it to someone else.
Yeah, you're gonna sell it to.
That's the appeal. Is basically to buy these things and then resell them, and then you basically make money off of reselling the NFT. And
cool, yeah, that's totally happening. That's really what's going on.
Well, the sketchy thing that I heard, I don't know. I guess the guy like got called out in the comments like later after this whole thread I read. And he basically had to like redeem it by saying like, hey, this isn't for every NFT service out there, but the majority of NFT services, or I guess the ones that he was calling out, the way that they link back to the original project is being housed on a web server that's basically owned by these people or these companies. So if any of these companies go out of business, you'll no longer have the marker that's correctly pointing to your asset. So you'll just get
blockchain, man.
You'll just get 404'd and it won't exist anymore. This thing that you spent thousands of dollars on to make sure that you had the number one of Game Grump's new poster, and now all of a sudden, yeah, like it's not
that nobody's gonna buy from you anyways in a week.
Like, I don't know. The NFTs to me just don't make sense. It makes sense for digital or for physical goods. Like I understand limited runs. I understand like that appeal to be like, look, I have a numbered statue that's so many, like it's kind of neat. But for digital goods, I just don't feel it's the same feel.
No, yes. So there's a million different ways that you can make arguments on NFTs against them, I feel. And the route that you're going is a completely valid one. Yeah, like who is this really for? And it's obviously not for anybody on a casual side. Like there's no.
Oh no, yeah, I don't think so either.
This is literally for the people who are on the fire side of it, trying to flip them early and flip them often. There's so many people that I've seen that because you have to pay to list them.
You do have to pay to list them.
There's a bunch of artists that I see that have listed them and just bricked themselves for like a couple $100 and are just sitting there rotting with NFTs out right now.
Yeah,
and then there's like it's flooded with so many different things, and there's people that I know that are paying to list other people's arts. There's so much stolen artwork on there now.
That's the other thing, right? Like how hard is it to take someone else's art Like we already see this with t-shirt companies and stuff. And it's
Mhm.
like, how hard is it to take someone's art, claim that it's your own, make an NFT of it, and start selling it digitally? Some poor guy on DeviantArt has no idea that you're selling his art. You like either
Mhm.
like cropped out his little watermark, or like you did something to make it just not
Or
have.
you just blatantly did exactly as
No,
is and
I guess that's
didn't
true.
even
Even
try a little bit. You just paid the fee and flipped it, which we've seen people do already. And it's
yeah,
like, cool story. This is
it's just
everybody's all like, it legitimizes digital artists. And it's like, what digital artists didn't already think that they were themselves were legitimized? I hear people saying that, and it's like, why are you being a dick and saying that digital art isn't legitimate already? It is.
yeah,
What are you on about? They're like, no, this like legitimizes. And it's like, the advantage of digital art means that I can put this on anything I want, on a cup, on a print, and thousands of people can buy them in easy to get quantities. If I really wanted to do a one-off, really expensive piece, I wanted to sell it for $5,000 or something like that, then I do a custom commissioned piece for somebody.
yeah.
Like, that's not hard. And that already goes to show you just how many of like small artists this isn't even relevant for. I'm an artist that is not known by anybody, but I still get
I know
big
you, Jay.
commissions because yeah, but
No.
you know, like I'm an artist that will take on commissions for hundreds of dollars because that's, you know, where I'm at. And I would never even dream of like NFTs. Like, who's gonna buy it? I'm not gonna scam my fan base.
Yeah, I don't know. It's such a weird.
I would feel so bad to like be like, who's gonna buy my NFT? And it's like, I wouldn't touch that.
I just don't understand who this is for, and I really don't understand the people who are throwing large sums of money at it. Like, I've
Yeah.
seen some of these go for millions of dollars, and it just blows my mind. At like, why would you spend millions of dollars on?
There's
think
no get rich quick schemes, man.
No, I don't think it's. And the weird thing is, I don't think those especially are for get rich quick schemes. I think those are more just for people who are like, this is a cool new medium, and I have a lot of money, and I want to legitimize it by putting money into it, basically. But I mean, that's not.
It's not gonna work.
It's not-
So it's
doesn't make it better.
It is nice for some artists that are big enough to sell an NFT. They do get money from it,
Yeah.
and some, you know, whatever. Suckers born every second, and that artist does get, you know, I've seen I know a couple people that have made about $20,000 to $30,000 off of it,
Yeah.
and they don't understand it, but they're like, shit, I needed to pay bills, why not?
Well,
Because artists do struggle, but at the same time, it's like that stuff already became stagnant from them. Like,
yeah.
they know that they had a fan that asked them for the NFT. They were willing to go up to bat for it and bid crazy with it with another person, and they were happy with whatever that thing was. That's on them. And then whatever, like,
Yeah.
But
I just don't understand who it's for, basically.
no,
Because
right,
like,
yeah.
as far as the artist goes, I'm all for people making money in different revenue forms. Like, if you
Okay.
now have a new way and you can get your NFTs sold, by all means. I'm not saying don't go make NFTs. I'm more just questioning who the hell is actually
Yeah,
buying
seriously.
these things, and what do they want out of it? That's the one thing I don't completely understand. Because yeah, let alone do I think it's easy, I guess, to counterfeit it by just getting a copy of whatever it is. I mean, it's an image a lot of the time, but I don't know, man. Blockchain stuff I think is interesting because I do see the purpose of it being used for outside things, and I'm glad to see it being used not just for cryptocurrencies, because that technology is pretty interesting and can be used for some cool stuff. Like, maybe you could do like items and things like that basically are tied to a blockchain, therefore you're getting the only helmet of Sauron's Wrath or something like that. Like, I know that I have this
through the blockchain. Like, that does sound kind of like a smart idea.
Yeah, but
like, I could see things like that, but also people just go support your artists. Like, I'm sure they have something for sale that you would love to have that's probably numbered and signed by them, or like, you would be surprised. Like the guy who draws Gur from Invader Zim and whatnot, and a few other characters from that, he has his original sketches up on his website for a couple $1,000s each, one of a kinds, go buy those things. I look at those every now and then because they're dope. I
Yeah,
can't think of his name off the top of my head, but
one of one of my favorite artists
wanna
that's
check
kind
out
of like
there.
that is like Callie Kazoo. She does a lot of like she's done a lot of stuff for Cartoon Network or Disney or stuff like that. She's a cartoonist. And I remember she was selling a bunch of her stuff for fairly cheap, and I was like, "What? Like, how are you?" First of all, I'm down to pay like $100 to get this, but I remember reaching
Yeah.
out to her and being like, "Hey, can you sign it?" Because I'm all like, "Oh, it's just gonna be a print or whatever," and she's like, "No, this is like the legit. This is what I drew, like, and it's an original, and I've already signed it. Like, I can sign it again if you want me to." And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
what's going on?" Like, yeah, support your artists, man. They are happy to.
They're hustling.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
they're happy to sell you whatever they need to do. That's what they do for a living. So
Yeah, it's and also, commission something from one of them. That's another thing, like a lot of people don't realize. You can commission stuff from many of your favorite artists that are doing many of your favorite things. Dave Greco, an artist who does stuff for World of Warcraft, Magic the Gathering, hundreds of other things, one of my favorite artists of all times, open commissions. You can literally just be like, hey, I have a little bit of money, gonna cost you way cheaper than an NFT, get you something completely custom that you yourself like, or possibly something themed off of a property that they already work on. And then, you know what? It'll probably be worth more to you in the end. And
Well, yeah.
that's really what you should be getting that for. But ultimately, if your whole idea is to sell it, you'll realize that there's probably not that big of a market. The same thing that it's going to happen to NFTs. I could show you prints and stuff from artists that, or like real stuff from artists that are famous beyond belief, that wouldn't fetch much of real money. A couple $100 maybe, if I find the right person listing it and whatnot.
I do.
And so
Sorry,
it's absurd to me to think that there's an NFT of the same piece of artwork digitally, probably, that is somehow thousands of dollars because of this current hype bubble. It's ludicrous.
It is absolutely ludicrous. And I do feel like having the physical print of it, I mean, if you have wall space, maybe you've completely covered your walls with other things and you don't have space to put up these things. But like, that's one of my favorite things to do is basically get a print from someone who I really look up to. Or if I'm lucky enough to get an actual like original or commission something, and then I'll frame it and I'll put it up. And every time I've ever done that for an artist that I like buying their stuff from, they're always so excited whenever I post it and things like that. And it's because that's what that's what they're doing it for. And an NFT, maybe I could get a digital picture frame, throw my JPEG image up in it.
Yo, dude, have you seen my wallet? I've got like these things. Check it.
It's on my phone. No, I don't.
The first person who does that, like, you're just a douchebag. Like, I'm sorry, I don't even care who you are. That is so dumb.
Yeah, I just don't understand. I guess I'll never. If any of you guys bought an NFT, just let us know. I mean, I'm just interested to see
You
why.
know what? I will personally have a Skype or Discord call with you. I was gonna say Skype. Damn, I'm a boomer.
Damn.
But I'll chat with you. I'm curious. I'll let you speak. I won't even have any retorts. I'll just listen. Because the fuck.
Can I commission you make an NFT? Is that a thing that you do?
Yeah, you have to pay for the post of it and everything.
Oh shit. Okay.
You can have any. I'll
start making your emote
I'll
commissions
make
NFTs.
an NFT of literally anything you want. Yeah.
That way no one can steal them because they're digitally signed and I know that they're part of the blockchain. Look, I paid for these. I clearly have the only ones that should be here.
I mean, yeah, my mind's numb with the idea of like this making any sort of sense.
Yeah, no, same. As I said, I like the technology. I definitely think it's interesting. I do believe that NFTs are blowing up just because they're the new thing on the block, and a lot of people have realized, okay, well, if we're gonna sell this basically digitally, we might as well, I don't know, hop on this bandwagon. Might as well.
Well,
I mean, if you can.
There's also some inside trading I've heard of already too.
Oh god.
So like,
what, to bump up those prices?
there's some shady shit. Yeah, there's some stuff that I've seen where people are bumping these things in ways that you could only do with an unregulated market that otherwise would be completely illegal in almost any other circumstance. And yeah, it's there's some shady shit. I'm just saying, people be careful with that. But honestly, this isn't for most people. Who the hell even has Ethereum in the first place? which is what you need to use to buy most of these NFTs. And it's like,
Yeah.
you're buying into that cryptocurrency as well, which is, I'm surprised somebody hasn't done a Bitcoin NFT yet.
Yeah.
Maybe there is, and I just don't know it.
It's because NFTs are built off of Ethereum basically, and not built off what is it? God, why did I just blank?
But I'm just saying somebody could, probably figure out some weird crap with something else.
Yeah,
just the fact that it's Ethereum based is like it's
because
a whole thing.
Ethereum was Bitcoin. That's what I was trying to say before my brain shut off. But yeah, so that branched off and basically made Ethereum, and now Ethereum is so different from Bitcoin that it no longer. I guess you would have to make an NFT specifically for Bitcoin's blockchain. But cryptos are
all the weird stuff.
They're kind of beyond me. Cryptocurrencies are their own thing. I mean, I've dabbled. I do have a Dogecoin or two, which is going to the moon, you guys. I am not a financial advisor at all, so take that with a grain of salt.
It's a whole damn thing that I've, even among people I do know, I've actually gotten in some heated debates over it because I think it's I'm not a fan. As somebody that's dealt with a lot of market stuff and does do things like that, it's not where I'd put my money.
I'm interested to see where it goes in the future. I do know more countries are starting to regulate it. It looks like India, I guess I read recently, that's looking to regulate cryptos heavily by basically seems like making them illegal.
I wonder how many people got blindsided on their taxes this year here in the U.S. when they saw that you needed to report your
cryptocurrency. Yeah. All of a sudden the U.S. was like, dude,
do I actually do that?
Dude, I'm gonna tax you on this. So
yeah. I mean, it's fate based right now, but I mean, you get audited and you didn't report that shit, that might come back to bite you.
Yeah, no, it's just like, I mean, when Twitch streaming first started, that was one of the big things was people weren't basically showing their income that were making quite a bit of money through Twitch streaming because they're like, what do you mean I have to show the money I'm making from these people? Like, government, I mean, what are you talking about?
Things, on Twitch that are illegal when it comes to your taxes. It's like everybody who has a donation button is illegal according to US law because you can't list it as a donation, it is a tip. And listing it as a donation is technically fraud. It's
because you're not actually donating to the stream. That's why a lot of bigger streamers immediately, once that started coming to light, turned to a tip jar instead of a donation.
But there's so many people who still have a donate button.
I mean, it's called donations. Like if you go
it's called donation, but it's
weirdly enough, I think it's actually called tip jar and stream labs nowadays. If I remember correctly, they were smart enough to hop on that. But yeah, that's
as inconsequential that word sounds to us, to the government, it means something.
Yeah,
and that's
you gotta claim those.
Sam cares about something.
After a certain amount, you gotta claim those. So the government wants to know anytime you make money.
Yep,
they're like, hey man, you're living in this country, you're making money, I need the money. But yeah, I definitely, I don't know. All of that stuff is so, I wish it was easier in some ways as far as being a Twitch streamer and having to claim all of that. Because once you hit a certain bracket and you have to start claiming that stuff, I remember not this last year, but the year before that, I basically sat down with a tax consultant, I don't know what to call him, and went over a bunch of tax information, and it was just so hilarious talking to them about like they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm a Twitch streamer, and they're like, cool, I don't know what that is, can you explain? And we just started like trying to figure out where they fall. And yeah, YouTube entertainers, Twitch streamers, all of that stuff, they're in the eyes of the government just doesn't fall well into a tax bracket. Like we just don't exist really. We're basically entertainers is where it fell in California. That's like the closest we landed on. But
yeah, it's
all this stuff's so strange, but it's kind of neat. I definitely think it's a cool way to go. I mean, once you start, because if you're making enough money, man, you can claim a lot of the stuff that you do as expenses, like any of your travels, any of the food you do, like a lot of stuff is actually taxable. That was the weird, or like deductible. That was the weird thing when I started realizing about this. I was like, wait, because we were talking about it. She's like, yeah, you can just you can basically deduct the gas it took to drive over to the convention and back every day. And I was like, all right.
Oh yeah, it gets heavy with the amount of deductions you can have.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, for the average person, like your standard deductions are already more than enough.
Yes, your standard deductions usually will cover that way more than any of your other stuff.
Yeah, when you get into the part where deducting those things actually matters, you're probably at that point just hiring a tax guy as well, because
Probably.
yeah,
I would recommend that
for your best interest. But
yeah, dude, I don't trust myself doing the accounting for this stuff. If I start blowing up, yeah, I'm gonna be like, here, please, I'll give you money. Just, I don't want to deal with this. It's funny to think that after a point you just start having people like deal with your money for you because you have too much money. You're like, yeah, I don't want to deal with this. All right, it's gonna be too much work. My time is worth way more than what I pay you.
Isn't even that much.
No, they're not.
Honestly,
it's really not that bad.
When you make enough in order to hire one, it's because the time that it would cost you to take out of your time to do that stuff is literally going to cost you more in your own personal man hours than it is to hire someone.
No, exactly.
And I think that's the thing that a lot of people overlook, which is the whole thing. I was watching a show the other day sorry, this is going to be a random tangent.
No, dude,
but it's people who were like trying to like cut costs as much as they could. And they were doing like some of the most absurd things to make back money. And it's like, even down to like, oh, we don't have a washer machine because we wash it by hand. And it's like, the amount of that it costs you to run a washer machine is insignificant compared to your man hours worth of time of washing that stuff by hand.
Well,
they're like, oh, we can wash it we can wash it by hand faster than the washer and dryer can. And it's like, but you were still there for 2 hours scrubbing at those things by hand where you could have literally been doing something else making money. And it's like, those people, it's like, that's why you're so bad off in the first place, is you don't know how to allocate your own personal time. Instead, you're wasting it washing your clothes by hand.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I think
it's indicative of a whole bigger problem.
There's being frugal, and then there's like, going to that level of detriment. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, being frugal is fine. By all means, be frugal. I recommend being frugal. That's going to help you, but you need to recognize how much is your personal time worth versus the thing that you're doing. And if at any point you cost more than the thing performing, pay for it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people undervalue themselves. Yeah. Like,
which is very interesting because it's makes
sense. We're all low self-esteem. No one believes in themselves anymore, other than the like handful of people who do believe in themselves. But...
it's a whole thing. It's hard to explain that to people too that just don't want to. I don't know. Yeah, figure that out.
You ever like see like the coupon clipper people and all that stuff? There was like a show for a while that my mom would watch, and I would catch every once in a while, and I would be amazed at how many hours and the effort it would take. I mean, truthfully, they would save a ton of money sometimes, like considerable, like thousands of dollars.
Also buying things that they don't always want.
Well, they're buying like, so much of it too. That was the big thing that I started realizing with a lot of this is, in order to get the deep discounts, you're buying like 500 rolls of toilet paper, and you're like, all right, well, I guess I'm stocked forever now. But like, I don't know. You're buying
your quality of life versus that as well. Like
the fruit cups that you're gonna now eat for the rest of happiness. The fruit cups you're gonna eat for the rest of your life now, just because you wanted to save and not pay for fruit cups, so you decided to buy 5 million of them. But stuff like that. I do agree that
I'm willing to spend $15 to go to a movie theater to watch a movie.
Sure.
In other words, I'm more than happy with losing $20 when I go grocery shopping. Like, to save myself multiple hours worth of movie time. Like, if I'm willing to waste $15 in a movie theater, like that I value 2 hours of my time at $15 basically at movie rate cost, regardless of what I'm actually worth, because I'm I make way more than that in my actual career. But just pretending that like $15 is 2 hours worth of my time. If I'm going to do that, spending that clipping coupons and whatnot for like 4 hours, I'm already $30 in the hole. I don't care if I miss out $20 worth of value at the supermarket.
Yeah.
Like, my personal time is already, I've saved $5 of my personal time.
Yeah, I feel like you have to just like that stuff. That has to be like what you enjoy doing in your personal time.
Sure, yeah, if it is, but
because
Is it?
that's the only thing I
Could
can
you really
think
not
of.
think of something better to do for those 4 hours?
You've
Like,
you've got to have better things to do. You can't just, I guess it's teach their own. I can't belittle somebody unless you're like
I
doing
mean, it's
something
almost
that's
like it's almost
detrimental.
like an actual job though. Like that's actual like working stuff where you could literally just go work somewhere for that amount of time.
Well, yeah, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you get the enjoyment out of doing that, and that's like where you get your enjoyment, then it's not necessarily
Yeah,
work,
true.
and maybe
I
you're
can't
also
account
saving
for
money
that,
on it.
yeah.
It's like if I was to sit down and play a game for 2 hours, maybe they get the same enjoyment out of sitting there and clipping coupons for 2 hours. I don't know.
Sure.
But it's just, I feel like whatever your thing may be, as long as it's not detrimental to your life and the people around you, then by all means, like, it's just you
Also,
do
too,
you.
yeah, your personal happiness. Like,
Yeah, I think
enjoy your time.
people value their personal happiness way low a lot of the time. I feel
Yeah,
like people will take a
it's
lot
depressing.
of a lot of lower quality of life than probably what they're worth, basically. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know.
That's sad.
I definitely like to go out and eat out every once in a while when I can and
Mhm.
do that sort of thing. It's a lot harder since we're in the end times, but
Of course.
once we're out of the end times and we can go actually sit down and eat at places, yeah, that was like my favorite thing to go do, and that costs quite a bit of money sometimes depending on where you're going and a lot of your
Mhm.
time, and I would gladly invest that to be able to hang out with everybody, eat good food, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I think every
Enjoy
once in a
your
while
time.
you should just treat yourselves. I don't know if you've ever watched Parks and Rec,
Yeah.
but that's like
Just a touch.
one of the things that they do. Like I think it's once a year they like dedicate one day to treating themselves super hardcore, and they just go buy whatever they want or like whatever they want to go do. And I feel like that's not a bad idea. Maybe do it in smaller increments and do it like more throughout the year, but like every once in a while, man, treat yourself to something that you maybe didn't think that you would get. But I mean, as long as it doesn't put you under. But
You know, and yeah, that's not for everybody. And like,
it's not, yeah.
But there's, yeah, it's hard to go on about that stuff because yeah, there are people, and
With the real
obviously we're not
struggle.
talking about you if you're in a position in which stuff like that is like vital to you, but
Yeah.
also I do think there is like a balancing point. Like you can actually hurt yourself by overextending into doing those things unless it is literally fun for you, and then that's, like I said,
Yeah.
I can't account for if it's entertaining for you to do those things.
Just
But
like the NFTs, I don't know what's wrong with you, and it's totally okay. I don't need to know. But
yep.
yeah, there's definitely some interesting characters out there. Oh man, I don't know why this segues into this, and I can't even remember the complete name because you're gonna have to help me with it. But I started watching SSSS Dynasm. What is it? How do I pronounce that word?
Dizonon.
Dizonon. Yeah, dude.
Dizonon.
I don't know if you guys started watching that,
Dizonon.
and this we'll probably talk about first episode, but
Oh, just the first? You haven't seen the second?
well, I just want to talk about the first. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't started watching it. Too bad.
True. People, yes, go watch this. First off, if you haven't seen SSS Gridman,
Yeah, Gridman.
you're doing yourself a disservice. That show is epic. I can vouch for that one all the way through. And if you like that stuff, you're gonna love the new one.
Yeah,
They're not connected. You don't have to watch one to watch the other. So if you want to watch the new one with us, do it because we're probably going to talk about it a lot.
Yeah,
because
we'll probably bring it up every once in a while. It's good. It's definitely interesting. It was. If you guys like Studio Trigger and you know about Studio Trigger, man, they do like to do weird stuff, and this does not let you down whatsoever.
Yeah, this is Kaiju Power Rangers meets Trigger. It's
Yeah.
It is off the wall, and there is a moment where that the Zord, whatever you want to call it, the Power Ranger big robot thing.
Yeah.
When that thing's up and going and that music hits, that soundtrack is hype.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are, you're pumped at that moment. That was a peak moment of that.
It's definitely a banger of a song, yeah. I like how the first episode ends just basically on the climax. Everything's kind of going down and shit's like really starting to like be realized that everyone's like, what the hell is really going on? And they're like, next episode. And I'm like, oh, this is perfect. All right, you got me hooked. I must watch more. But the characters so far are interesting, and I love, oh man,
it's a character piece, for sure.
The guy who is like the guy who summons the Zord. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Pink-haired.
Sorry. Yeah, me and Katie have just gone to starting to call him
the other guy, the actual main character, the eye guy.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, but we started to call the that guy. He's just Kaiju Man.
Kaiju Man. Like, that's what he's.
I'm a Kaiju trainer or summoner or something like that.
Yeah,
he's freaking bonkers.
Let me use my Kaiju power.
He's just Kaiju Man. Yeah,
straight up Kaiju Man. No, straight up. I love that dude's character. Like when he's first introduced, you're like, I don't really know what's going on, and the next thing you see him, he's just like passed out on the ground. He just grabs that kid's leg. He's like, "You saved my life." Oh man, I love how it's just, I don't know. He's just so different.
I've seen that character type before. Like I've seen that character type before, but never done to just the pure attitude that this man has. Like he is unique within that like trope of a character, and he's he's got a fiery passion about literally existence, it seems, and it's whoever plays him, however that's been animated, everything that's going on with the director for the show, perfect for him. I love that character.
Yeah, me too. I really like him. I think the other guy who looks like who I actually at first was like, whoa, their character design is very similar.
Double hair clips.
Yeah, double hair clips. Yeah, with the blue hair.
Yeah.
Everyone got like a memo that needed to put a blue hair guy with double clips or girl. But
it was the trend.
That dude, I think he's voiced by the guy who does the main character from Jujutsu Kaisen, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Which is like, I recognized his voice and I was like, dude, I could be totally wrong. I am also dumb. But I was like, man, I recognize this from somewhere. This sounds so familiar. And I love that voice actor. I mean, the voices in the show are done considerably well. Like a lot of the character, the main girl who just stands people up.
Dude, I love her character.
I
don't want to get too far into it, but in episode 2, she becomes way interesting of a character. Like,
yeah.
I can't wait to see where they're going with her. And that's the thing that we've seen with Trigger in these SSS whatever shows so far. Because in Gridman, their female characters, the supporting female characters, are some of the best characters in the entire show. And it seems like it's translating in this one too, where it's just like, I want to see what's going on with them. And especially her, she's very interesting. So...
Yeah, Trigger just also has a way to be kind of surreal without throwing it, like having to explain anything really. Because when everything just like, the first they show like a trash can floating, and then like they start showing other stuff start floating, and the next thing like there's a shot with just like a giant building floating, and you're like, none of this is being explained. What's going on whatsoever? And I'm intrigued. What are you doing? Why is this happening? Maybe it's because this giant kaiju monster shows up. I don't know, but they don't really ever like necessarily explain that in the first episode. And I love stuff like that. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, we all came here for kaijus. I hope they don't try to explain any of it, because they don't do that really in Gridman either. So it's one of those things where it's like, we know why we came here.
Yeah,
just let it happen.
It's definitely a good show. Recommend checking it out. I've been fairly excited for where this one's gonna go already. Like most shows nowadays, I feel start really strong, so I'm excited to hop on this one. Maybe this will become the one we talk about weekly. I don't know, but go check it out, you guys, if you haven't already.
I'm watching weekly.
Yeah,
this is. I can't think of like anything else this season that I'm hyped about or was looking forward to.
I'm watching My Hero Academia, but. That's,
there you go.
It's because I have to. I mean, it's signed on my arm that I have to like watch all shonens that come out. So I'm trying to keep up. So far, it's My Hero. So if you like My Hero Academia, then you're in for more of it.
Yep.
Weirdly enough,
Yep.
I've read the manga for this guy, so I like being able to catch up and watch what the anime does to adapt to the manga, because sometimes there are things that are in the manga that you can't necessarily do. Like people were calling out like one of the episodes of My Hero that just came out because everyone thought they would do basically spoilers, like there's a panel where Deku's talking and Bakugo tells him to shut up and bites the bubble. Like bites.
What, dead?
Oh my god, don't spread that. Don't spread no, the title of the episode. What? Bakugo's dead? We're just like looking like all confused.
Isn't that a completely dead meme already?
That's such a good dude.
Yeah.
Someone made that so well though. So whoever made that panel like made a lot of people think that Bakugo was dead. That's how you do it, you guys. If you want to troll a fandom, you make a manga panel that looks too real, and all the people who don't read the manga are all of a sudden like, what? Nani? You can't just do that to me. But basically, yeah, he bites one of the text bubbles. And so people were complaining. They're like, you should have made him bite his speech. I don't know. It was really weird. I was like, when fandoms don't know what they truly want, and they're like, they could have adapted this panel, and I'm like, no, you can't. Like, there's not just words that come out of people's mouths in anime. That'd be an interesting anime if it was just all text bubbles. Everyone's just it'd be really annoying because I have to read really, really quickly.
People don't already have to read subtitles on most anime anyways.
Oh man, no, it's true. I guess that is true. Good point. Okay, so like, sorry, you go first.
Yeah, well, no. Finish your thought with
the text. Okay.
That way I can move on to something else.
Have you ever, like, when you're watching an anime, like Laid Back Camp, I think did this the most for me, where they'll start texting each other, and I'm like, stop texting so quickly. I will need to pause you and read what the hell you're texting each other. I know it's not that important, but I still want to know. But
Camp, no, because it's never seemed that fast enough. But in some shows, yes.
I guess
I have had to pause some shows.
Yeah. Oh,
so,
man.
what I was gonna say there. So I have a list that I want us do at some point, which is a list of mangas that should not or probably could not be translated well into anime.
Yeah.
And on that list is a show that's actually scheduled to get a release at some point, which is Komi Can't Communicate.
Huh.
And there's a fundamental problem with Komi Can't Communicate, which is she doesn't talk. Which, yes, could be fine, but she thinks out loud in the thing constantly, and we have it through her point of view constantly, and it's, I feel like you will lose so much personality or so many like things that are the intrinsic to like the way that the manga is created. It's going to be something completely different. And I only imagine that the anime is going to follow the main boy character to a T and destroy what makes that manga makes me love it.
I definitely, like, even if it is just thought constantly and like her talking, I could see them kind of pulling it off. But yeah, I don't think it'll be the same as the feel you get from the manga. Definitely. That's hard. That's really hard to do. Like, I was thinking instantly, like, oh, a silent voice, it's just going to be a silent character. But then...
Right, but silent voice, she has sign language, she has expression, she makes noises. Like, there's a full expression that happens in a silent voice that doesn't exist with Komi, because there's... The whole idea is that the rest of the world views her as a stuck-up bitch because she's so isolated and frozen in fear that she comes off as cocky and like the princess of the school. Like, everybody just like, you don't touch her, you don't talk to her, she's too amazing for you. And instead she is terrified and so antisocial that she freezes in every single moment. And how do you show us that everybody's has these ideas of her and these opinions of her, and then yet show us that inside she's dying? Like, that's so conflicting between what she's supposed to look like and what's in her head.
Yeah.
And that only works when you have her thoughts and her actions occurring in her mind and her body just being a statuesque. Like, she just is completely locked in bitch face.
That's definitely gonna be an interesting one.
It's
I'll be interested to see
I
how
think you
they
could,
adapt that. But
yeah, maybe they just do a ton of cuts to her like mental world or something like that. But
yeah.
I don't see it working the way that I want it to, and I'll watch it. We will talk about it for sure. It will be one of the first things that I get out of my lips. Will be what I think of that thing for sure as soon as it drops.
I wonder.
At least like there is stuff that is coming out recently, just to even poke at that list a little bit, like the Junji Ito
Yeah,
stuff that's coming out soon. That's done by Toonami is the person that or people who commissioned it to be done, which is
that's kind of neat.
Yeah, I would be fearful of it because I mean the last thing that Toonami commissioned was from IG Productions, and they did the Fully Cool season 2 and season 3, which was trash, hot garbage.
Yeah,
so it makes me fearful when I hear that. But I've seen the trailers for it, and it looks phenomenal, and I hope that it does really well.
Yeah, I'm interested to see it. Yeah, I started up Fully Cooley season 2, and I was like, huh,
Oh.
I don't know how I feel about this. This doesn't give the same feel. Fully Cooley is one of the few animes that I feel like it would be hard to do again, if that makes any sense. Like to capture.
I think you could. I think there is a complete world where you could do Fully Cooley again, and this is a weird thing. So in Fully Cooley season 1, there's a lot of people just call him Eyebrows, the guy who has the sushi wraps on his eyebrows. There's this weird fantasy and fallacy that he has of what's going on throughout the whole show, and her taking and abusing Takun, and like all of these Nato or whatever, all these things that are going on. He has this weird viewpoint of it, and it's this weird juxtaposition where it's you see how the writers are using him to explain how this could be misinterpreted. And it feels like season 2 and season 3 is written by that guy.
Yeah. I literally did not get very far. I think I got to the second episode and was like, I'm going to go watch Fully Cooley. Like, because, there's something special about that show. That show is definitely, if you haven't watched it yet and you haven't gone to watch it, not that long.
I've tried my hardest to give season 2 and season 3 it's a chance. I've watched both of them about 2 to 3 times.
Yeah, okay. I could see that.
I've tried. I've really been like, maybe there's something I'm missing, and I'm only further disappointed by rewatching.
I'm interested to see like where maybe it would go completely, but if that's what you're saying, then I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, I want somebody who's new to Fully Cooley to watch it all in a row, because I feel like that's one of those things. Like so many people new to Fully Cooley have weird opinions of Fully Cooley. So I almost feel like maybe if somebody just saw them all as a continuous thing, if they might have a combined opinion of it and
maybe
interpret it all differently.
Yeah,
and because there's a lot of times where I'm like, I'm just too ingrained into the original, and I don't want to feel biased like that, because it's like that's stupid. You shouldn't preconceive your opinions based off of like loving the first one so much.
It's hard.
Like, being like, oh, it's not like the first one. Which
it's hard.
I accept usually reboots or sequels that from many other shows that are different. Like so, Fully Cooley is like, I think it just sucks.
Has a special place in your heart, and it was not what you wanted. So therefore, yeah.
But I was so stoked when I heard about it. Like I am truly in mind that I think there could be a Fully Cooley sequel. Now, what also kind of like makes me think that this wasn't going to be good was the fact that none of the original writers are credited on any of season 2 or season 3.
That makes it harder because it's a different person's vision of the show. Yeah,
which is why I think it's literally like Eyebrows Man is the person who wrote the scripts for season 2 and season 3. It honestly feels like those weird romanticized, idealized versions of what somebody could picture Fully Cooley, and not for what it actually is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always skeptical whenever I see like a continuation and no one who was originally there for at least like a writer or director wasn't there basically to help push that vision continuously. Because it's like, this is just going to be someone else's adaptation or take on the IP basically. And they're gonna want
They felt cash grabby.
Yeah, they're gonna want to just take it and run with it. Either they'll do like what I feel like a lot of people do, which is the easy route, where they'll just basically take it and like choose part of whatever made it good and run with it forever. And then the other thing that always scares me is when someone wants to change it completely. Like, oh, this is my take on whatever it is. And maybe if it's a reboot or something like that, that would make more sense.
Yeah. Well, in Fully Cooley season 2 and season 3, there is a point as well where one of the things that bothered me the most, because I like a lot of the characters, I like a lot of the general themes, and I think like it's close to being watchable. It's really, really borderline on like it could have been good, like if they would have tweaked a few things. And one of the things that like really jets me off a part of it is when they start explaining the NO, like the stuff that how stuff gets pulled through the head, which they kind of already did before. Like
they kind of did
enough, like. But you don't have to tell me about metachlorians. We had a podcast about this. Go back and watch one of our old ones where we talk about explaining the cow.
Yeah.
And it's they do that in this one, and it's like I didn't need that from Fully Cooley. Nobody ever did.
It just takes away a lot of the
half of what people love about Fully Cooley was the fact that it doesn't hand you anything. It just says, this is fucking weird, deal with it. And it's like,
yeah. Which is what I'm starting to realize I love that. I love that feel of basically this is strange, this is different, and it doesn't make any sense currently, and that's fine. Like,
yeah, because you'll get there.
I don't want you to explain it to me if it's short enough or if it's long enough, like a shonen or something. Explain it to me in episode 100, and I'll be like, oh, that's crazy. But like, if you explain it too quickly or too early or in not a good fashion, then it just ruins the original. It basically, or whatever you were talking about prior. It all of a sudden.
Let us come up with some of our own stuff too. You know? Like let us get some of our own meaning.
Just don't be like the My Hero Academia fan base. All right, no offense to anyone who is, but man, you guys need to calm down on theories. It always blows my mind at how quickly something will come out and people are like,
are dead.
They're like theorizing.
Fandoms are a cancer upon everything at this point. I love seeing it because one of my favorite pastimes currently is getting a new My Hero Academia fan theory or like headcanon and then just shooting it down by facts and logic of what they've talked about. Like, no, that's not how this is going to go down because they already clearly showed you that this is not how it's going to go down. But I understand in your head you want I don't know, time traveling Bakugo or something crazy like. Yeah, he resurrect him since he died earlier.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to get more into different things. I'm now getting caught up on Made in Abyss manga, which I would love if we had like a section for just talking about manga and stuff like that. That's caught up basically, like new episodes or new chapters. I guess they're not episodes.
So many good manga. Oh, thinking of that, if there's some really good mangas that are on what is it called, the Humble Bundle right now.
Oh,
it's like
sweet.
$30 gets you all of Nagato and a bunch of other stuff. $1 unlocks like the first issue of like a bunch of really good stuff. For people who really hated to watch Seven Deadly Sins, read the manga instead.
Yeah,
you can get it for dirt cheap right now off of Humble Bundle.
Cool. I'm gonna go
check it out. There's a ton of really good things on there.
I'm gonna go do that after this.
Hashtag like not sponsored. Well. Not sponsored, but hey, we all love a good deal for some good manga. And there's some stuff in there that I personally, I'm gonna buy the ones that I want physically, but hey, you do you.
Not bad.
I don't judge people who buy digital because I do buy things that I don't like. I buy digitally or get digitally. And things I like, I buy physically.
I do like reading manga digitally, I think, more than physically, just because I'm at my computer so often. So it's easier for me to just bring it up on another monitor or do something while I'm playing. I'm not saying I can't have it on my desk and I can't just flip through it, but it just feels different. It's like, it's another medium that I have to then switch to. But I
want to get away from my desk is why I like my manga. Like manga and reading for me, because I also have a e-reader I'll
Yeah.
just say it that way because I can't say the actual words I want to use. I have an e-reader that I will take, and I am the manliest of man who will sit in a bathtub and read a novel while listening to some like classical music or something.
Hell yeah,
like,
dude.
Y'all need to try out some bathtubs.
Dude,
maybe some
I
bubble bath
agree.
too,
Holy
bath
shit, we're
bombs.
on the same level.
Like-
Let's go. Oh man, you kids in your showers, you can't relax in a shower. All right,
Yeah.
you can't just sit there with your drink and your candles going.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Enjoy your time. Read something and chill out.
That's
y'all.
something I did not think that we'd connect on, but dude.
But I mean, that's what I use a lot of my reason why I love physical medium, or at least if I'm gonna consume digitally on the e-reader, is simply so I can walk away from my computer.
Yeah, I
and
could
go
see that.
somewhere else and sit down. And I don't do enough of that, so I love a new issue coming in the mail because I'm like, oh, I didn't expect this today, but now I have an hour-long session today where I'm gonna go kick out, relax somewhere cozy, and just read.
Yeah. I
and that
will
feels
say
good.
I also like it's one of my favorite things to start collecting now is just slowly but surely filling up my bookshelves with more and more manga because they look cool. Like especially when you get some of the ones that are like the covers all flow together to make stuff. Oh man, I love. There's some sweet looking mangas out there. One of the ones I want to get is Berserk. I really want to get Berserk because I've heard reading that is way better than watching the show. So
the only one that I have that flows together behind me is Oyasumi Punpun, which please people watch. If you read. This is probably never ever going to get an anime.
Yeah,
if it does, it's just
this is on this list.
You're crazy.
I know this was.
It's a hard one on the list. Yeah. Oyasumi Punpun is a must read for so many people. Please do yourself the favor. Go check it out.
Maybe when I'm caught up with Made in Abyss. That's I'll throw that on.
Is an amazing writer. And everything from them, just go read it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I might have butchered their name. It
it's
matter.
okay.
Oyasumi Punpun.
I was gonna
read the other stuff.
I was gonna say I can't. Oh man, the only one I know is Oda, and I can't remember his last name. But he does One Piece.
Yeah,
I love that dude. He's a good writer, very good writer. But yeah, I feel like that's another weird one too. Like, how do you even get to the point where you're making manga instead of like doing webtoons or things like that nowadays? Like, that would be a really interesting. If we ever got guests and things like that, I would love to pick a brain
of mangaka.
Yeah, someone who does manga, because I've wondered that for a while, especially now. Like, I've read some stuff about how it was back in the day, because you would submit, like for Shonen Jump specifically, you would submit your ideas, and then Shonen Jump would pick up the ones that it actually thought was interesting, and then would serialize you and work that way. Like,
drop your ass if you lost readership for a week.
Yeah, no, straight up. Yeah. How dare you?
You're everything up in 2 issues. Get it
you're
done.
Gone. It does make me wonder because Made in Abyss, he talks about it a little bit in his, because that writer wanted to do doujinshis originally, and basically was going to go that route, and then got picked up to be serialized basically, and then ran with it. And I wonder who picked him up. I wonder what publisher actually publishes Made in Abyss. Now I think about it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up.
I'm sure I could go grab it and look, but it's probably different in the US versus.
There's probably definitely a different one. I learned recently that Viz has a place in San Francisco that we could probably, after this is all over, go visit Viz headquarters. Be like, hey, Shonen Jump, welcome. I would like to talk to you about manga. Oh man.
Man. It'd be cool to talk to somebody from that for sure, but there's so many people that there's almost no reason not to start doing webtoons and stuff like that. If somebody's passionate about it, like why wait for somebody to pick up your stuff when you can just publish your stuff yourself?
I think webtoons is amazing too. Like being able to see that a lot of that now can get you, I guess not a lot of it, but it can get you an anime adaptation because Crunchyroll loves your webtoon enough. Like, it's pretty neat to know that is a possibility for all of you aspiring manga artists or web or comic, even anything, basically anything in the.
I mean, look at Penny Arcade. They started as like just doing comics, and now they're a giant, massive entity. They do packs every year. Like it's, you can do comics and become a juggernaut.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's always looking for more and more that style of content. So
Mhm.
I don't know if anyone ever has wanted to do stuff like that. It's always intrigued me as someone who can't draw, but I've always wondered how, like, do you think a lot of artists or people who are making comics or mangas, do you think they just do it all themselves, or
A lot of them, yeah. So I do know a few people who do comics, and
Okay.
a lot of them are 100% in-house themselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have a partner that will do writing, and the other person does the art.
I feel
A
like
lot
it
of
must be
times they are
rare.
actually, yeah. Uh, it's back and forth.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon.
I just picture it being so much easier if you just do both, I guess. But I mean, it's not
Yeah, but there's
easier.
so many artists that can't write, and there's so many writers that can't draw. Like it's
Yeah.
a lot of those people just need to come together. So you see it happen more often than you would think.
I guess,
Where
I
it's
mean,
just two people need to hit heads.
makes sense.
And then there's a bunch of people that like can draw, but they can't, like, they can write fine, but instead of doing panels, they do videos. So there's a bunch of people like Ill Will Press,
Oh, yeah.
that does foaming scroll and stuff like that. Like there's just people who've been doing
Yeah,
comics.
David Firth, and yeah.
Yeah, they've been
Comes to
doing
mind.
comics on YouTube for years now, and it's like I love a lot of that content that's out there, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, the odd one's out," and all these people they're all new, and it's like, hey guys, no, people have been doing these things on YouTube for since I was a little kid. It's just you.
Yeah, even before YouTube existed, like found them on like
Yeah.
eBombs World or any of your other like Newgrounds. Newgrounds is a good place for that
Yeah,
stuff.
everybody remembers Strong Bad or whatever.
Yeah,
and
Strong Bad, and yeah, Homestar Runner. That was another
Homestar
one.
Runner stuff,
Man,
yeah.
I feel like it's so weird to think that that website I believe is still up, but it's so weird to think there's a whole generation now growing up who don't know who Homestar is and would probably go see that and be like, "What the hell is this? This isn't funny. What the hell?" We're all over here like aged and dated, and we're like, "You don't know what comedy is."
Oh yeah, I remember them being like, "Hey, we're funding to get DVD releases of stuff," and it's like,
Yeah, I remember that. Oh man, dude, like it's crazy. I was watching one of Angry Video Game Nerd recently, and he was talking about how he was releasing stuff on VHS to people.
Mhm.
Like, and I'm like, damn, that's how you know you're old in this game. You were making VHS tapes and
Yes.
sending it to people. Like, damn, that's dedication.
I mean, hell, that's how I got into anime. Like, so much of my
guess.
anime that I consumed early on was simply people's VHSs that they were passing around.
Yeah,
Like,
I guess same. Yeah.
I fought to watch so many shows where it was just like, I guess some shows I'll never see the end of, and it's like,
Yeah, you have that one VHS that has like episode 7, 8, and 9, so you don't know how it starts and you'll never know how it ends. But it
Yep.
was like the holy grail of anime. That
and
actually,
whoever did the fan dub on it, because it's not officially dubbed, so you might not ever find the same dub. So those episodes probably are worded differently. It might even be titled differently than somebody else's version of their title that they translated to English or whatever.
So
and it's
good.
just like, oh, back in the day was a wild place.
Yeah, I remember going over to like San Francisco, and we'd go into Japantown sometimes, and there was like a VHS and DVD, and I would just like scour it for stuff that I've never heard of, or like, what the hell is this? And yeah, that's how we came across quite a few random like gems. I can't remember. I don't think that's how we found Ghost in the Shell, but the other thing was, my friend's girlfriend's boyfriend at the time was super into anime, and he would just give us like VHSs or DVDs of like Fist of the North Star or like random Dragon Ball Z episodes, or I think he's the one that gave us Ghost in the Shell, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, you just had to have someone. You had to like have a broker or someone on the inside who was dealing you anime.
Yeah, shit was hard. Oh, it was great though.
Now you guys can just go on to whatever it is, your Crunchy, your Funny, your Deep Dive, and just watch all the anime you want. That's nice.
I remember,
I'm glad.
I remember going to like parties where people were watching Homestar Runner and whatnot as well. And
Oh
like,
yeah,
yeah, we've got tapes for this, and it's just like, all right, because it just nobody had internet, or even if they did, they didn't have a way to like stream it to a TV or something like that. So it's
Yeah,
just like,
it's
how are we gonna watch this on TV as a group? And it's like,
originally why I
who
bought.
recorded it?
It's originally why I bought Red vs. Blue. I started buying DVDs of Red vs. Blue because it was like, how do we get this on the TV? How do we like if we're all hanging out in the living room? There's no way to watch this. So, oh man, now you can just like Chromecast it or like double cast it or whatever.
Oh yeah, no, it's like, so one of those things, like I remember, I think it started with like the first home console that allowed you to like stream internet content was the Wii. Like you could go onto YouTube.
Yeah, you could
like...
go on YouTube on the Wii. Yeah, you could like literally just go bring it up in a web browser. I remember that.
Like, I can watch YouTube on my TV.
So
some people are like, what?
Oh, it's so funny. It was like all jank too in order to like get there, and you're like going through the web interface. Like, all right, we got
to pay $5 for the Internet Explorer app too.
Oh my god, dude, it's so good.
Oh, it was
the struggles that we went to watch the internet content on our TVs, man. Now it's just all embedded, and it's like your TV has a web browser on it. Actually, it just has apps. I don't think my TV has a web browser.
No, it's I mean, crap. I remember the day the iPhone came out when I was in high school.
I was there,
and I remember,
I bought in too. I was like, that was the one thing that I saved up for and begged and got like the money for, and I was like, yes, I finally did it. I am technologically advanced. My phone can do things that no other phone can, which was mainly play music. That I wanted an iPod.
Oh, did you? So you never had an iPod?
I never owned an iPod.
My listener.
Before that,
so I had a Zune.
Oh my god! Okay, I remember. I remember Zune.
I was a Zune kid.
I remember, dude. We're just like, this is like nostalgic lane for.
I mean, I was pirating music left and right.
Yeah,
I mean, I was legally re-downloading stuff I had CDs of, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Let me guess. Were you using like Napster, or were you a LimeWire, or were you Kazaa?
Yeah,
all the
everything
above.
I told you, I didn't know, and I was sampling. It's and I deleted it later. I promise.
I just wanted to make sure I wanted to go buy the CD.
Yeah. So I needed a Zune because that just made life easier because it supported more file formats.
It definitely did. Yeah, before that I had like the first cell phone that played music that was like designed for doing it, which was the Motorola Rocker. And I remember like I loved that thing so much, and I was like, okay, I'm never gonna upgrade this until they come out with something that is like better than this. And then Apple was like, we're coming out with an iPhone, which is basically an iPod mixed with a phone. And I'm like, sold. All right, how do I get this thing, and when can I get it? Yeah. I was an idiot too, man, because they like dropped the price immediately after it came out and gave everyone like a rebate. But me being like the worst procrastinator in the world, I was like, I'll get to it. And I just never did. Apple, you owe me $200, please. That thing was cool though. That was definitely like the trendsetter for all of a sudden all of our smartphones. So, and it was pretty good at the time. I remember the evolution of the iPod, watching it go from like the brick down to like your little like iPod mini, down to the nano, and then to the phone and everything like that.
Yeah, when the phone came out, I didn't get a iPhone. I've never owned an whatever product, but me and Apple don't get along.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I never got a smartphone. Like I just had my Nokia brick for years, all throughout high school. So in high school, I went in. I was like $300 or something like that for one of those Palm Pilots, like the personal computer planners.
Was it like a BlackBerry?
I had one of those.
Jesus Christ.
So it wasn't a BlackBerry one. It was, but it was a one that had like its own like janky windows on it where I could have like, I
remember those.
So I had one of those, and everybody was like sitting there with their iPhones all fancy, like swiping through stuff, and I'm sitting there with like my
your
tablet
stylus.
Pen, yeah. That was my life.
Did it have like the built-in like physical keyboard?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I bet it did. Yeah, that's like what I'm picturing in my head. I remember those. But
yep, those things were great.
Yeah, I've been on the iPhone train. Like they dragged me in early, and I've just never hopped out. Weirdly enough, I've been thinking about it this next time, but I still probably won't. I think about that every time I go to upgrade. I'm like, I could get the Google Pixel 3. That sounds sweet. Or maybe I'll get the Samsung Galaxy, whatever they're at now. And then I'm like, oh no, iPhone 12. Let's just do it. It'll transfer all my stuff over easy. Like, I am so used to their interface. I got all my accounts on there. Like,
my early adoption to it was I couldn't take it apart and replace things on it, and I was very much anti any company that did that. Of course, I had a Zune, so what am I talking about? But
it's like, well,
same
it's like,
problem there.
Yeah,
but different. That was also a gift. You didn't say no to gifts. If somebody gifted me an iPhone back in the day, I would have taken it.
Oh yeah,
and used it for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not that type of person. You know,
it's good to know.
You can buy me. But if I'm buying something myself, I want to be able to, you know, fix and repair stuff. That's why I'm a PC guy.
Yeah.
Like I've been building my own computers since the day I used my first computer. That's literally how I started on them. The first computer I ever used was hand-me-down parts that I shoved together to get online. Like,
nice.
That's been who I have been ever since I've had the capability.
Yeah. I started off on a compact, and then from there just I think I had that basically forever until I built my first computer. But yeah, I didn't start off necessarily building. I did upgrade that one. I remember the first time I went to go buy a new graphics card was for Battlefield 1942. And I don't know if you kids growing up ever saw graphics card box art, but man, there were some weird ass 3D rendered images on there. Some of them were really pretty, truthfully, for their time, especially. But yeah, it was always funny going in there and being like, whoa, look at all this cool stuff that's on there. And nowadays, like, you would go look at it and it's like some really pixelated looking dude that has like super blocky edges. And yeah, we've come so far.
When I remember installing Windows 95 and slotting in my hard drive for 500 and something megabytes.
Megabytes,
like,
yeah.
That's my hard drive.
So crazy.
My RAM sticks of God can't remember, so tiny.
Yeah, I was really into like old computer parts for a while, and I remember seeing like one of the first ever RAM sticks, and they had like I guess it was for a supercomputer, but it was like the entire length of like a hallway. It wasn't like the entire length of a hallway, because hallways, how do I judge this? But it was fucking like 12 feet, maybe shorter than that, maybe like 8 feet. But it was gigantic. You're like, this giant thing was 256 megabytes of RAM. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, we have gigs of RAM now that I just throw in just thirstily that I don't actually need. I just put it in there for show.
I remember I remember my mind was blown when Seagate released like a 500 gigabyte external hard drive, and I went out and bought this thing for thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And like it was stupid expensive to get a 500 gig external hard drive, and now you can buy for like pennies on the dollar per gig. Like, you can buy.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here. What is this? This is a 5 terabyte external hard drive that I'm pretty sure cost me under $100.
Probably. Yeah.
For 5 terabytes, and it's like,
I have a 10
versus my thousands of dollars 500 gig.
I have a 10 terabyte sitting right next to me that was like $100 on sale. Yeah, it was like, all right, cool, let's go. I'll take 10 terabytes now. I think we'll hit a point too where like data storage size just won't matter anymore. It'll be crazy. It'll be like, it does not matter how much you're putting on here, like, because file sizes are constantly trying to get smaller, and then our like data size is getting bigger. I mean, of course,
like, no indie developer ever.
Well, I guess of course some things are still getting bigger. Like, file sizes for games are forever going up. Like, look at Warzone.
Like, the amount of people that I've seen their game in development, and they still have every single part of the original Unity store like preloaded onto their game still, and having like,
it's beautiful. I love it.
They have their asset files plus all the asset files for 100 like other games on it. And it's like, you can delete that.
It's the signature of a good developer. All right, Jay, is having at least 12 gigs of space that takes up. Okay.
Why is your 2D platformer 20 gigs?
Yeah, every once in a while I'll install something, it'll be like extremely small, and I'm like, this can't be right. This can't. Like we did. I was playing Loop Hero. That, like when I installed that, it's like not even a gig, I don't think. And I was like, what?
Mhm.
How is that?
Yeah,
I
when
know
people realize how to optimize.
it's all flat textured and everything like that. It's not like there's a lot going on in there, but it's like my brain is like, I'm so used to seeing such larger file sizes of everything nowadays.
Yeah, there's so many people just have bloat for bloat's sake, and they don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
a full engine that they don't utilize.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm excited to see as we go further and further into technology. Weird one to go into since we're on just random technologies that VR, the future of that, to go into the two different realms. I was watching a video recently where there's a company that's trying to make Ready Player One style VR. That's like their goal, is to basically have a full haptic suit. You put on the goggles, and then now you're immersed in this virtual world. And then Valve is going the opposite way, where they're basically trying to go into your mind, and make the Matrix. And
yeah, they're like, we're going the Sword Art Online route.
The Sword Art Online route, yes, exactly. And
yeah, the Valve stuff, that's just crazy.
Yeah, they were talking about some of that stuff recently, and I'm like, are you sure we're as close to this as you're saying you are? Because one of the
That's the thing. They said that it's like they've already have it ready to launch, but there's new stuff coming every single day that they don't want to launch it because they're like, by next week it will already be 10 times better.
That's what I heard as well. I heard that they're like, insane. They can already do it, but it's just growing at such a rapid pace that if they went to production, it would be a worse product than a week from then. Because if they had just,
by the time that it hits store shelves in a year, they would just have a infinite better product.
Yeah, so they're just trying to, I think they're just trying to plateau, and once they hit that, we're literally gonna see immersive rigs, you guys. We're gonna see some sort of neural plant.
I hope.
Like, oh man, I saw the thing that it's like one of the companies that I think Elon Musk is a part of, that they were showing off, that does like neural links and stuff, and they were showing the ape playing Pong and stuff like that. And dude, it's just crazy, this technology that we're slowly getting to. I think in my age, I really hope that I'm like 60 and being able to go into some crazy VR chat with my mind. Okay, I am totally okay with this. Live out my fantasies of being some sort of like random small cat character. All right, don't judge me.
Full send. Yeah. I'm so in.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've wanted to upload my consciousness for a while, you guys. All right, and if they get there, I'll do it. All right. If I could be an NPC in someone's world.
Yeah, my retirement home life will be that episode of South Park when they're in the basement, just nurse lady. Nurse lady.
Oh, that's so good. Well, let us know. I think this is a good place to end here. But you guys, I will say, if you guys prefer, let us know in the comments if you prefer like Ready Player One style VR with your haptic suits, or would you rather be part of the Matrix? All right, which one appeals more to you? Because
tell me why you're wrong if you pick the obviously wrong choice.
Yeah.
And,
all right. Figure that one out, Cryptid. Am I wrong? No. All right, you guys. Go check out the Discord. Follow us on all the social medias and all that stuff. And yeah, we'll catch you next time.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye, guys. Oh, one thing I realized too, we have to do an intro. Yeah. I know. I was like, I really like that this intro is gonna be so thrown in, so maybe we could make it feel thrown in. Like, I don't know how to do that necessarily, but like to make it feel artificial, like hi.
We could go back and forth, be like, hello, and then you'd be like, welcome to Otaku flavored.
Okay, I'm down.
Well, what would we bounce back and forth? What weird would we do this honesty thing?
Would we do word for word, or let's see. So it's like, let's just think of what we have to say. I'm gonna write it down to make our lives easier for this. So, hello, welcome to Otaku flavored podcast. That looks good. And then, so if we do you want to start? Jay, hello. Bear welcome to J Otaku. Hey, we're gonna see how well we can read from a script. Bear. All right, there we go. You got your lines. Basically, your lines are hello.
We wanted that simple. Just hello.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Full set. Okay. Okay.
Wait. What type of theme and attitude are we going for here?
I was thinking we could just do Unisauce. I mean, you got the sweatshirt on. I could throw on a sweatshirt. That doesn't make any sense to have later on. But
no, continuity. Just keep it full send as you are.
Yeah.
You got a black and white shirt.
That's true. We could just do the whole hand thing.
Are you sure we don't want to do like some Twilight Zone shit where we're like, hello and welcome to Otaku flavored podcast. You are about to watch a pre-recorded episode.
Oh my god.
with your host, Jay Lewis and Savage Bear.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely
where we discuss all things otaku.
Okay. I'm gonna have you do that again, and I don't know if you can do that again. That was beautiful. When you go and Savage Bear, I'll just say hello, and then we can just go from there. Yeah, because you did good.
So, do we want to write that down or no?
It's up to you. Like, you can script it. Basically, all you're saying is like, hello, welcome to Otaku flavored podcast. Whatever else that you want to say. That was Twilight Zone-y. That was good.
Do you want to do one take back and forth between us two, or do you want us to both do a full take and then you splice it?
Oh, actually, that's fine. We could just do a full take and then I can just splice in my hello.
Yeah. You do all of your stuff. Yeah, we both do a full take of it and then you just splice it back and forth.
Yeah.
Between the two of us, how you think it feels best.
Okay. Yeah, we could do that.
So just do enough pauses after like where it feels natural and just kind of doing there. So something like that.
Yeah, sure. I'm wondering if I should just continue after that, because I could just do like this is hard. I'm trying to think, and
whether it be NFTs or your virtual reality existence, the mind-altering conversation you are about to hear will forever change the way we view something.
Reality.
Yeah, reality. You can run with that if you want, or some. I don't know. I don't know what you want to do, but
yeah,
some weird bit
where we talk about NFTs, virtual reality, and other mind-bending and altering subjects. Fuck. Okay. I was like, find a word, taking too long. I actually kind of like that though. Be prepared. No.
Yeah.
This is gonna be such a fun edit. Actually, it's gonna be so fun. That intro is gonna be so fucking beautiful. I might even just start with the intro, like not have like a.
Do the Unis Honest Spyro behind us and do an Unis Honest level like style thumbnail.
Dude, sure. You know what? Actually, I think this is more. This definitely feels more. What is it? Fucking the show Twilight Zone. But that just reminded me, we should actually have an Unis Honest dedicated episode.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We should.
Let's do that. Like I can like I have all white I can wear. You can have all black, and we can go from there.
Do you have a white suit?
I don't have a white suit. Do you have a black
You
suit?
suck. I do.
Oh,
of
fuck,
course.
you
I
do!
have 4
God
different suits.
Damn it! I know you do actually. I saw you dress up with it.
Yeah, it was in my birthday suit one day. It was great.
Well, fuck. I guess I'll have to buy a white suit. I'm down.
It was great. So
I just got my tax refund. I guess I'll go buy a white.
Just get the cheapest one you can for like $50.
Oh yeah.
So on my birthday, the first thing I did is I jumped into the my suit and sent a picture of it to Katie and was like, "Hey, I'm in my birthday suit," and just posed all like, "Yeah."
That's so fucking.
I was
beautiful.
trying my hardest to find a shark